Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Voyager Season 1, Episode 5, The Cloud. So this episode probably has some of the most famous lines in Star Trek, at least for Voyager, where it's all about, this is the start of Captain Janeway's love for coffee. And I'm sure most people, like my husband, who has never seen Voyager and knows nothing about it, has at least heard the line, like, that nebula has coffee, or something to that effect. And so that all originates from this episode. So the episode starts with Janeway actually mentioning how they have been in the Delta Quadrant for 7 weeks already, which is kind of interesting because we're only 5 episodes in, so already, like, if it was going in real time, we've already kind of lost some time in there. And for the most part, this episode is all about how they encounter a nebula and how they're starting to run out of rations and stuff like that. And in fact, the famous line kind of comes around because Janeway just wants a cup of coffee. Now, I live in the Northwest and we are serious about our coffee. And so I kind of relate to her on a spiritual level about just like, I don't want food, I don't want anything, I don't want better than coffee. I just want my coffee when I first wake up. And it's gross where like Neelix pours it and it's all chunky. And and she even says, like, well, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and use one of my rations and just get some coffee. And Neelix is like, you shouldn't do that. You need to set a good example for the other, like, Starfleet associates, for everybody else on the crew. Okay, Neelix, you need to back up, okay? Like, don't get in the way between me and my coffee. I mean, that would be my response, but she hands it more diplomatic than I would. And so, a lot of interesting stuff. Just a quick side note, the Kess is all about the doctor, helping the doctor. And at one point he mentions how if there's a complaint, they need to take it up with his creator, Dr. Zimmerman. And he even says, like, he looks a lot like me, actually. Which is kind of funny, because in DS9, we actually did see Dr. Zimmerman, and it's played by Robert Picardo, so that was kind of cool. There's some great scenes where we see Harry and Paris shooting pool, which is kind of a fun scene, especially when Janeway joins them at the end. Because, I mean, for The Next Generation, it took 7 seasons to get Picard in on the poker game, and Janeway's already shooting pool with them 5 episodes into the season, so that's kind of cool. I really like the scene where Neelix is, like, trying to talk to Janeway about, like, being in the dangerous missions and stuff like that, and she's like, dismissed. And he's just standing there, and she's like, oh, dismissed is Starfleet for get out. And I was like, that's great. Like, I need to try to figure out how to work that line in my professional career. So overall, this episode is basically about they encounter a nebula and they're trying to use it to like refuel all of their systems, but it turns out that it's not a nebula and it's a living sentient being, and they actually injured it. They like punched a hole through it. And so now they have to go back and basically heal it and try to fix it back up. Overall, I thought it was a really good episode. For like a season 1 episode, it was really good. It was like subpar of like the first season of Next Generation, to be completely honest with you, I felt. I've said before, like the Next Generation was really rough until season 3, whereas I feel like Voyager is already, because they had 7 seasons of Next Generation and they've had 3 seasons of Deep Space Nine at this point, like they kind of know what they want to do and they're just doing it right away. And overall, I thought it was really good. I thought this episode turned out really, really well. For those who have seen this one, what do you think about Janeway's love for coffee? Which I'm kind of interested that they specifically say coffee and not Ractigino. I don't think they ever say Ractigino throughout Voyager. So what do you think about that? What do you think about the Zimmerman shout-out? What do you think about them playing pool? And what do you think about Neelix being the morale officer? And just kind of overall, how you think Janeway handled the harming a living organism. So go ahead, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for everything. And I will see you guys next time for Eye of the Needle.